Welcome everybody to Let's Connect Now. Um, I guess we haven't had like a real guest in a while. The last couple of shows we've had, they've been just kind of like Jer and I having a conversation, and then the last show we had one of the firemen, talking about his event, which have been great. But today, I'm particularly happy to have Lailah Morid with me today from World System Changers.
Thank you.
Welcome
Thank
to
you
our
for having
show.
me.
Really appreciate you making the time to be here with us today. I think with the business that you have, you bring so much awareness to all of us. The last couple of times that I've been speaking to you, wow, I've been just like shocked because we actually met on Instagram. And yeah, it's been a while, right? But finally, we met, and wow, I'm just so fortunate to meet you.
Thank you.
So why don't you formally introduce yourself and tell our audience, what you do and why you do it?
So my name is Lailah Moridzadeh, and my
You said it better.
organization. Well, I've had a little bit of practice. So my organization is called the World System Changers, and our entire vision is to create wealthy entrepreneurs that are going to go out there and transform the world in a better way. And the main product that I sell is life insurance. And so I educate people on business, finance, and marketing, but I also teach people how to start a business from zero and be able to really quit their jobs and work for themselves.
You know what really surprised me about you is that you're very passionate about what you do. And I know you had some personal, a very personal incident that happened to you, and I think that made you love your job even more because you've actually have experienced something. I'm not sure if you're comfortable, talking about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, they always say, I mean, first of all, not many people wake up and saying, I want to be a life insurance agent,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a journalist, so I actually went to school to be a journalist, and I was an associate producer for the morning news. I also went into marketing. I've had over 30 jobs, so I've done a lot of things, and I never considered a job as a life insurance agent, but they always say that the business will go from your head to your heart. And it did, well, when I became widowed. So I would sit with families and I would talk to husbands and wives, and I would talk to them about the importance of having life insurance. And, oftentimes a housewife would think, well, I'm just a housewife. My husband makes all the money, so I don't need any life insurance.
Yeah.
But if you really consider everything that a wife does, she chauffeurs the kids, groceries, food,
Oh, yeah.
daycare, everything.
It's a job on its own of its own.
Yeah, it's like at least a $250,000 a year job,
Yeah.
right? That's what they said, right?
Yeah.
That's her job. And then if the husband doesn't have anything, then she's going to be left with anything. Now she has to replace his income, and on top of that, take care of the kids. So I became widowed February 27, 2021 on a company trip in Hawaii. So my husband and I had won a company trip. He was so excited because this was the first trip that, was supposed to be the first of many family trips.
Of course.
So my twins go. They're about 11 and a half months at this time. My mother-in-law goes, my brother-in-law. We take 3 of our 4 brokers. One of our brokers is 27 years old. He had just become a broker, so he's celebrating, his new victory. And we all go for a hike. Okay, so we all go for a hike. We all come back from the hike. But my husband and my friend decide to go back to go inside of a waterfall.
And this is in Hawaii.
This is in Hawaii.
Hana, correct? And road to Hana?
Correct. So it's in Maui on the road to Hana. Actually, my friend had met somebody that had been living in Hawaii for the last 10 years. So she took us there. So it's not like we were just being nosy, and, we were led there by somebody that had been there for the last 10 years, right? Yeah. And so we all come back from the hike, and then they go back in. It was almost sort of like perfect timing because a flash flood came and took them. And my brother-in-law and I were sitting outside in the van waiting, but obviously we don't know what happened. After some time goes by, we fell asleep, and then we wake up and we're like, they're still not back. So my brother-in-law says, well, why don't you go down and get some help? Because if you've been to the road to Hana, there's 0 reception.
Oh my God! Yes, and they're just like so narrow, and you're sharing the road with with the people coming, and yeah, it's a dangerous road for sure.
It's a
Scary.
scariest
Oh,
road.
yeah,
I've never
scary,
been
yeah.
on a scarier road.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And so I go and I get help and thinking, okay, as soon as the firemen come back up, I'm going to go back to the road and all the guys are going to be out there and I'm going to be like, okay, sorry, false alarm. That's literally not what happened. So the firemen go up with me and then my brother-in-law comes back out and he says, I didn't find them. And I say, you didn't find them? Okay. So the firemen go back down with my brother-in-law. They all come back. They didn't find them. So we had to wait till Coast Guard came out that night. Search and rescue team, we had to wait till first light. So around like 6 a.m., they all came back out. 20 hours later, they ended up finding my friend, but they never found my husband's body.
So let me ask you a question. So at this point, were you like in a panic? Were you like, well, I mean, how did you feel? Because I mean, I don't know. I'm already feeling for you, and I think I would be. I don't know. How did you feel? What were you? What was going through your mind?
Well, so I mean, I guess I just went through the whole gamut of emotions. I was probably in Hawaii for maybe about a week and a half after, because we were searching for his body for about a week. But on day 4, specifically, I remember. So actually, my mentor in business asked if she wanted me to, she wanted to bring her nanny for her kids and bring her back to help me. Okay. So her nanny, which is a friend of mine, she came back to help me with the babies while I can handle the situation. And of course, you have people calling you saying, oh, a psychic told me, I had a dream. He's in a cave. He's in the mud. He's this. He's that.
Wait, how did that happen? Like, how did they know?
Well, I had told my mentor, and so kind of put it out there that he was missing, and they asked for permission to kind of let the other brokers in the company know, and then it was just an outpouring of prayer. Okay. So everybody was praying. So all these people that are praying for us are also, very faithful. Yeah. So they're like, I feel that he's still alive. I feel that he's still alive. So of course you're holding on to this hope,
of course.
So day 4, I specifically remember I lay down on the bed. My friend took the babies. Everybody was out. And I lay down. I closed my eyes. And I just felt a ton of anxiety just leave my body. And right then, God spoke to me and said, I have him. He's with me. So day 4, I already got peace of mind that he wasn't alive anymore. But leading up to there, I mean, there's so much rain. It's tropical. And it was just pouring rain every single night. So I'm thinking he's out there. He's injured. He's trying to call for help or he's unconscious. So I had those every single day. I'm thinking that until day 4 when I finally had clarity that he's gone. And then it was, searching for the body until the search and rescue team. It was like, and by the way, people kept calling me, oh, there was a girl that was missing for 17 days. We still have hope, right? And well, we had that search and rescue team.
So that kind of keeps you grounded for during that time because you're thinking something that, you're telling yourself trying to tell yourself something good instead of thinking the worst case scenario because you're thinking like, I think I would feel like, no, this is not happening to me. No, this is not happening to me. Like, no, they're going to find him. He's just going to pop out of somewhere. So you're holding on to that. Yeah. I can only imagine. Right,
which I think is tougher until, I got that clarity. Yeah. And then afterwards, I was just looking for the body until, he said, the difference was they knew where we were. Mm-hmm. This is where we were. And they brought the helicopter so low that it just moves a brush around. Yeah. He's not there. They went down. There's nothing behind the waterfall. Like there was nowhere that he could be. He's in the ocean. And so when the search and rescue team said, there's got to be a point where you decide when do you stop searching because the ocean is vast. When do you stop searching? Mm-hmm. And so it was difficult because I think, I had my mother-in-law there. I had family there. And, as a wife, I kind of have, and I wanted to sort of bring closure to all the people that are praying and holding onto hope. Yeah.
Wow, that's probably, I don't know. I can only see myself in your shoes and I don't know, it must have been hard. But, but when you're a woman of faith, you always, we always know that God has us, he somehow finds a way. But from what I understand, they never found his body.
Mm-mm. No. Which, I mean, there's reasons for that too, for example, because you have to understand the way a flash flood works is the water is coming from the very top of the mountain, cascading down waterfalls until I think we're on the third waterfall. And then it cascades down 200 feet onto the ocean. So, I mean, debris, lungs can be punctured. You could be weighed down by debris. I mean, there's so much explanation. It's actually more miraculous that my friend was found than my husband not being found.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I just heard not that long ago. Well, I've been hearing on the news about this one lake that a body has been surfaced out again, and they believe this had probably been there for so long. They're finding like parts that are surfacing. So. Wow. So what next? I mean, what happens after that? Like, how did you come home? How did you get on a plane and come home? Oh my God, I don't know.
I know that. I know because first I call and I'm booking flights, and they said, well, because I have two babies under
ones.
2, and they're like, well, you can't travel alone with them. And I said, what do you mean? Like, this is my only option. So what do single moms do? And then he had to sort of explain, well, one needs her own seat. I said, well, explain that from the very beginning, because
They want you to pay for another seat.
pay for another seat because the airbags and this and that. But I said, oh, okay, so got my seat situated, came back with my nanny. Then you come home, and then it's like, okay, well. And then there's different layers because I was on that same hike just 2 hours before.
Prior.
So then my question was, well, why was I left behind? I mean, obviously, then my kids would be orphaned. But then my thought was, why weren't we all taken as a family on the way to Hawaii? Why was it only him? Why are we left behind? Like, why? Like, why? So many
feel
whys.
guilty?
I know I didn't feel guilty. I felt more sort of like, well, what's my purpose? Like, there's a reason why I was left behind, so let's figure out that purpose.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wonder that too. I've had those thoughts too. Like, okay, why me? Like why? And I think that's normal. That's a normal reaction. And sometimes you never find the answer. It's just something that you got to move past, because you could torture yourself until you can't move.
Correct.
You become paralyzed because of the pain, right?
Right.
Or you try to just take pills and just, I know, something happened to me, and I just wanted to be asleep because I didn't want to feel anything. I didn't want people to talk to me. I didn't want nobody to feel sorry for me. I didn't want anything. I just wanted to be left alone. And that was not good, because then you just, you need to be functional. You need to move past it. And I give you a lot of props, because you seem so strong, and you seem like, I would think that your daughters are the reason why because that's your reason to live. You have to raise those kids, and you have to be a strong mom for them. But at the same time, you don't have, from my perspective, I feel like you didn't have closure because they didn't find the body. So you're just like wondering, But if God spoke to you, then, if you feel in your heart, that's sufficient, because we have to believe in our faith, right?
Yeah, I bought them a little camera, so today they're learning to take pictures, so they're walking around, and yeah, they got their curly hair from the dad. Like, that's definitely from the dad's side.
And I understand your husband was only 31. Am I correct?
Yeah, when he passed away. And so he missed his daughter's 1-year-old birthday by about 2 weeks or so. And he missed his 32nd birthday because his birthday was in May. He passed away in February, so like 3 months.
Wow. So moving forward, I mean, what was your plan of action once you got home? Like, what was your mindset like?
Well, so, you have to sort of figure out the finances. Mortgage doesn't stop, car doesn't stop, bills don't stop. But just the peace of mind that I had, that he had life insurance, I mean, not to, crack a joke or dog, but I mean, like, if we were in the business of crypto, like, I would much rather have had life insurance, so I feel so blessed and fortunate that, and really I also see it as a blessing from God. Like, I see it as a blessing that God knew that I was going to be widowed. He helped us to sort of put a plan in place. And I feel fortunate that my daughters are going to continue the same lifestyle. I want to homeschool them. I'm going to be able to homeschool them. I couldn't decide if I wanted to go back to work or if I should be a stay-at-home mom.
So I think prior to I asked you, was this business something that you both were in?
Yes.
Was it his business, your business? Because I've never heard of a 31-year-old having life insurance.
Yeah.
Usually they do with the parents up until they're like 26 or something because
Yeah.
they're still under your insurance. And I think some companies offer like $10,000 for, life
Yeah.
policy for your family members. And I know because my son still has it.
Yeah.
And he's the only one. And but it doesn't change unless you put money into it. And we just really honestly, like, you have to school me because I really up to this point I don't see a point to do that. So I kind of never really, I don't know, I didn't see the importance of having life insurance because I think for me, I know that I have it because he bought me a policy, and he has it. So I don't know why I didn't think of my kids. I don't think of like, oh, maybe I should tell Chris, hey, it's going to end, but you need to do this and you need to do that. So I
Right.
want to understand, like, because being so young, and usually you don't hear people
Yeah.
having that, so.
Well, I mean, it helped that he got introduced into the business when he was 19 years old.
Oh, okay.
So since 19 years old, he's already been educating himself on it, and then he recruited me into the business, and
Is
that's
that how
why.
you guys met?
Well, we were dating, so I met him on OkCupid, right? And then a month later, he introduces me into the business. So
What is that?
OkCupid, like a dating thing, like a dating
Oh,
website.
okay.
You know how like now they have Tinder, like before we had OkCupid.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but yeah, so
I
it
think
was
when
just
I was
like a
single,
dating
it
site.
was I don't know, something
Like Match.com or
yes,
eHarmony or
Match,
something
yeah,
like that.
eHarmony
Yeah,
or
exactly.
whatever. They don't work.
Exactly. Really? Yeah. Well, I found one on there, but then I also ended up in a business. So after a month of dating, he recruits me to the business. Yeah.
How long did you guys know each other before you guys got
1
married?
month. Oh, well, 1 month, and then we started business, and then so we met at the end of 2014. So 2015, I got started in the business. 2017, we get married. 2019, I get pregnant. 2020, I have them, and then 2021, I become widowed. So it's just like that was that decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but I like to see you smile, and I like the peace that you have within yourself. And I think that, I mean, from my perspective, I'm thinking that motivated you to even like to, talk with so much passion about the importance of having, a life insurance policy, with your partner. Because we
Right.
all experience death at some point, whether it's from a parent or, a sibling or a child. I don't know, just different things that, and usually when it's a friend, we don't have to worry about it. But when it's your family, your immediate family, yeah, you worry because, like you said, bills don't stop. You
Right.
still have a mortgage, you still have college loans that you have to pay. So, yeah, you worry about all that stuff. So
Right.
how do we go about educating our audience, or getting them started, maybe with some, I don't know. You were the experienced one.
Well, it's interesting because I've got some friends recently that are starting, and some of them are just starting with a $50 a month term policy. And so in insurance, you have term and you have permanent. And as a broker, I sell everything. So there's some companies out there that only sell term to everybody. There's some financial gurus that you hear, okay, often, and they also say buy term and invest the difference. So I sell the only financial products out there that are guaranteed. So we're in a recession. None of my products you will ever lose money. So I sell term, I sell IUL, I sell whole, I sell ROP, I sell index annuities. So I sell all the products that can either help you generate wealth, save on taxes, and then of course take care of you in case you have a chronic, critical, or terminal illness. And then
So what about the
legacy.
last one that you mentioned? Can you say the name again?
The IUL?
Yeah,
IUL?
I really didn't understand that one at all. But as it turns out, my parents, for example, they didn't qualify for the one where you actually invest into because
Okay.
they come in with high blood pressure, just different things that they've been diagnosed with. And then another one was for my dad because he takes medication for his depression. So they were denied. So the only thing I could do from my end was to go with AARP.
Okay.
which is very expensive. Every year
Yeah.
it just increase, and it's like it never stops. So for them, being on a fixed income, it's hard sometimes, for them to pay. But then you feel naked if you don't have anything, and then they
Yeah.
pass away, and I'm gonna inherit their house, and
Correct.
this and that, and you know. It's just scary. It's a scary situation. So at least we have something for them. But, it's just researching. And maybe the people that we had didn't know how to do the right research for us, to get them, something that, that would take care of my mom or my dad or, whoever is the policy holder.
Yeah, we're as a broker, I can offer final expense. Even if I've had clients that might not get approved with one carrier, but I have other carriers that I can try with. I can email the underwriter directly, find out if they're going to get approved or not. So, I have clients that still have diabetes, take medication, take these things, and they still get approved. So, I don't know specifically your parent situation, but,
Well, I'm using that as an
yeah,
example because I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to have it,
right,
because I want my parents to have
of
coverage because
course.
I don't want my mom or my father to suffer or lose
Yeah,
their home.
right.
So instead, we paid off their house. So their house is paid off. And thank God for that. So, but it's still important, even if they seem, healthy, because to me they're healthy. They just have,
Yeah.
the getting older, kind of stuff, that people go through. But no, definitely. And it's weird because I think as a woman, I don't know if any of you guys think the same way that I do, but I always think that like my husband's gonna die first or something. Like I never think it's gonna be me. I don't know. That's weird, right? Is that weird or I don't
Um,
know.
yeah, I don't know. I honestly thought that my husband was going to outlive me. So,
Really?
yes, I guess it all
I
depends.
think different. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
Well,
That comes to my mind.
statistically, if the wife passes away first, the husband passes away shortly after.
That's very correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if vice
Yeah.
versa happens, I think the wife,
Yeah.
has hangs out
Yeah,
longer.
because all my aunts that have lost, all my aunts that have lost their husbands, no joke, all of them that their husband already passed away, they still have, they've outlived them for like 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I think that way, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
my husband's pretty healthy, so I don't know. Thank God for now. But it's not just health. It could happen from an accident, it could happen from anything. So I don't know. Shed some hope, for people because I think if anything, I would want somebody to just like, not like ARP. They just pretty much put you on a policy. They talk to you on the
Yeah.
phone. You don't even know who you're talking to, and that's what I did.
Right.
And because nobody really sat down with us and talked to us about, they talked to us about planning, but
Right.
not life insurance.
Right. Yeah, and I think so. My organization is World System Changers, but the company that I hang my license with is called People Helping People, and we just got acquired by Integrity. So we're People Helping People Integrity, which now just opened us up to offer more products. Like no one in the market's going to be able to compete with us. So I'm also licensed with my life insurance and my health insurance. But yeah, you're absolutely right. When I sit with a client, it's a case per case. It's based on your health and your age. I find out what your needs are. We can tap into your retirement needs. And like I said, since I help you with everything that's guaranteed and you're not going to lose, if you want to put stuff in the stock market, even with the money that I got from my husband's life insurance, I reinvested it into more life insurance. My daughters have their policies. They've had their policies since they were 4 months old, the kind that builds a savings,
Oh, okay.
right? And we have annuities and they have annuities as well. So our retirements are set, everything is set. That just shows you the legacy of what life insurance does. Like, even though my husband isn't physically here, but the legacy that he left behind was for my daughters
To
to
be
be set.
okay.
Yeah. But my daughter's daughters,
Yeah.
he'll,
No, that's
yeah.
beautiful. I think, sometimes God sets us up, in a certain way, and then it all makes sense.
Yeah.
So I have to say you seem very strong, and you have a beautiful heart, and I think you're a perfect example of why this is so important. Because we never know. I mean, we never know when a situation's going to come about, and early education is always so important with everything, right?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to money, security. It's all so important. But I also know that not everybody's as fortunate or is fortunate enough, where they have enough money to pay for these policies. Some can be very, very expensive, especially if if you come in with pre-existing conditions.
Yeah, which is why it's important to get life insurance now. When you're healthier and you're younger now. And I work with a lot of Hispanic clients. Actually, the majority of my clients are probably Hispanic. And I would oftentimes the husbands would say, "Oh, I don't want to leave her any life insurance because then the Sancho is going to take it." Coming from being a widow, do you know I don't need a Sancho because I have life insurance?
So some people might not know what that means. So
Okay, yeah, Sancho, I guess, is like the other man, right?
Okay.
The other man. So, like, Hispanic husbands will sometimes think that if he leaves a wife life insurance and then she gets remarried, he's gonna take the money.
Only if she telling people or whatever, but usually that's something personal.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they would say that,
Yeah.
but I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. Well, that's a joke, right?
Yeah, it's a joke.
Okay.
So now it's like now me actually being widowed, I'm like I don't need to be looking for a man right now. Like I'm good, financially I'm okay. My daughters are good. I have a business.
But you're young,
So,
and why not? Eventually. But I
probably.
could see it's too early still. I mean, I
Yeah.
think your daughters are still really, really young, and
Yeah.
you have your whole life ahead of you. We have to
Yeah.
think that way,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, name some of the companies that we're used to hearing, that offer life insurance. Name some of those. Are you a broker for, just like not so much the name, but what kind of companies do you work with?
So I personally have National Life Group. We have AIG. I have a policy with AIG as well. Fidelity and Guarantee. We know that. Mutual of Omaha.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Foresters, John Hancock. So North
think that's what we
American.
have.
There you go.
Yeah,
So
John
those are some
Hancock.
of the major companies that I can broker out and
Okay.
choose from.
Okay. So how do we get in touch with you? Do you speak Spanish? ¿Hablas español?
Yeah, hablo suficiente. Yeah,
Okay.
le puedo vender una póliza en español, sí.
So you know all the terms and everything in Spanish?
Yeah, I had to literally memorize my vocabulary word.
Because that's hard, right? Especially
Yeah.
when you come when it comes to explaining to somebody. Because if
Yes.
I sat you down next to my parents, oh, you better know Spanish because
Yeah.
my dad is gonna outdo you.
Yeah.
And he'll ask you even a harder question because he's in broadcasting, so he knows
Oh,
all
cool.
the proper terms. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I also have brokers that speak better Spanish than me. So if you feel that somebody is better suited to sit with your dad, then, I can refer people.
You know, one thing that he keeps telling me every time I see him, he's like, just cancel. Just cancela esa ARP. He doesn't want to pay for it anymore because now it's up to like $80, like $79. And it was only like 10 something like a long time ago when we got it.
Oh, and that's what I was going to say. Ours don't increase in price. Like, once you get approved for something, you get approved for something.
So why does that happen? Why do they increase it?
That's how some companies
So the amount is
are.
the same that you would get, but it costs more money.
Yeah.
Every year, it costs more money.
No product that I sell you will do that. There are other companies that do that, but there's no insurance product that we sell that will do that. So whatever you get approved for, that's what you pay.
Yeah, so he's already like telling me to next month, call and that's it. Yeah. Because he just gets frustrated because they keep taking, automatically
Yeah.
they up it, and we don't honestly we don't even know what we have.
Yeah.
Because they never send you like usually your life insurance policy, they'll send you the first initial paperwork. They'll and I'm not bad mouthing ARP. I'm sure it works for some people, but it's not a policy that is functional for us.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're open, I can take a look and see. I just need to know a little bit about his background and let you know if there are other options. But I mean, like, for example, my mom was like, hey, I've been paying life insurance. I have life insurance. It's $13 a month, and I've been paying it for the past, 50 years or whatever. And I'm like, Mom, that sounds a little too good to be true. Let me take a look at your policy. And it's accidental insurance, meaning that you have to die literally only in an accident. Otherwise, you can't get it. So if you die of natural causes, you don't get it.
So do you see how deceiving TV is? Because there's announcements that say, my dad sees it. I mean, watches it on regular TV where, you know, an actor or someone that was famous in the past, they'll say, you can get, you know, a life policy for $10, you know. And like people believe it because they're targeting, you know, the older people that know are not going to do all their research.
I just saw a commercial, okay? I just saw a commercial, and it said the same thing, but because I know what to recognize, and in small print, it'll say 10-year term.
But older people can't. I mean, I could barely see, like, what I have right here, you know, without my glasses, so they're not going to go into the fine print, and that's deceiving, and that's really sad, you know?
Exactly. And so, for example, like, I have a client of mine, and said, hey, my husband just saw a commercial, and I said, right, so let me show you. I can give you this amount of coverage as well, but it'll expire in 10 years. That doesn't make sense to me. You know, so it pays to know a life insurance agent.
Yeah, and then the mom set up or something, and she's like, you know, 80-something, and she's setting up, oh, my children don't have to worry no more. But that's, my dad really believes that. And I said, no, we need to do our homework.
Yeah.
But I've kind of, you know, been putting it off. But then I met you, and someone. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely. No, I think you're really gonna help us, you know, because those $80, I mean, he just doesn't feel like, we don't know what we have.
Right.
So, you know, but it's taking the time to make those phone calls and find out where I could just give it to you and maybe you can do the homework.
Exactly.
You can do the homework for me.
Exactly.
You know, but that's that's like somebody that's busy, you know, we're just waiting, but in the meantime, we don't know. You know, we don't know. I mean, he still drives, and he just turned 79, both of them. My mom, September 1st.
Oh, wow. Okay.
79, but they're still very bright. Believe me, even they barely moved, they still very bright right here, so.
Yeah, I've just recently insured some parents that are around that age as well.
Do they usually insure people that at that age? Is it
I
hard?
mean, every insurance company has, you know, limitations. So some can go up to 85. And then once you get over that age, then maybe it's just final expense, which covers just the cost of a funeral. So
I think that's what we have. Honestly, I think that's what we have, funeral expense.
There you go.
Yeah, but it's still very expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it starts to get pricier.
And I can honestly tell you what the amount is, because I don't care, because, you know, it's $20,000. That's it, period.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. And so, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, okay, so it's like, if your parents don't have anything, then it's a good idea to reach out to a broker. We can shop around. There's different companies. We can let you know what's available. Yes, it's going to be more expensive. But then you can get, you know, a 1-year-old, $1 million worth of coverage for $150. And so sometimes people will say, well, I don't have any kids. Why get life insurance now? Or, you know, I'm not this. Why get life insurance now? It's eventually you're going to be. But even if you don't ever get married or ever have kids, what if you get a chronic, critical, or terminal illness? This life insurance you can use while you're alive to have maybe a caregiver come or just pay your bills, pay your rent in case you can't work. So life insurance has changed. It's not just for when you die.
Oh, okay.
So really everybody, if you're alive right now, you need life insurance because we're all going to die. That's the only thing we're guaranteed. You know what I mean?
I don't like hearing you say that, but okay.
I know. And I think it's just, I've just recently have experienced, you know, deaths in the family. So not that I'm, you know, numb to it, but I mean, also being in the business. I mean, I'm in a business and I understand like, hey, I'm here to take care of you or teach you how to take care of your family before it happens because it's bound to happen.
Well, look at what just happened to the world, COVID. Look at all the people that died that didn't have insurance, and the bodies were put in just some trailer, some freezer trailer, and nobody claimed because they were not important. Or who knows why, you know?
Exactly.
That was really sad, and we never expected anything like that in our lifetime. That only happened back then, you know, 100 years ago, but it's every 100 years. You know, I did my homework on that. Every 100 years, we've had a pandemic, like a major pandemic.
And you bring up, well, I thought about something else. Sometimes people wonder, well, how safe is life insurance? I don't know if you've heard of that. How safe is insurance, right? So if you study insurance, and if you look through the Great Depression, life insurance companies stayed afloat. Banks went under. What are we experiencing right now? Stock market is dropping. Life insurance sales, like the policies, always continue to increase. Life insurance agents, as far as us looking to get a career in it, decreases when we're making money. but because we're good, we don't need to make more money, right? But when the recession starts to come and people start to lose their jobs, that's when people are more open to opportunities. So right now, getting in my industry to sell it is super lucrative. I mean, on average, you can make about $1,000 an hour. Okay. So, and there's different ways that we can work it out. So let's say, for example, that you say, hey, I want to get my license. You know, I have this show. We can work it out to where you refer the people to me, I help out the person, and I split you 50%. So there's so many different ways that you can even jump in the business on a part-time basis. With my company, there's no quotas. You can make as much money as you want, as little money as you want. So just as a career, it's an amazing career.
And I would think that now more than ever,
Yes.
I mean, everybody that wants to work from home, they want to be remote
Yes.
because they got used to it. You know, people are reinventing themselves, right?
Yes.
As far as careers go, I know so many people that went into, you know, just creating things, and they've made an amazing business out of it,
Yes.
you know, and now they're very passionate about it. They're thinking about quitting their real job, you know. And
Yes.
so for anybody that's, you know, that's looking, you know, to change their careers and still be a stay-at-home mom, you know, I think that would be, you know, that there's opportunities, you know, you just have to find it, you know, and you don't have to go through something, you know, something tragic to want to do that. But I think now more than ever, with, you know, COVID is still lingering around, and then we have that other thing that's going on. It's like, oh my gosh, you know, are we really safe? You know, I don't want to walk around with my can of Lysol, you know, everywhere I
Yeah.
go. You know, but that's how I bought my house, by the way. When we bought our house, the person that sold us our house, he walked around behind us with the can of Lysol.
Really?
Yeah, gloves up to here, and he made us wear
Yeah.
like all this gear. I was
Oh my
like,
goodness.
wow, you know. But it was an
Yeah.
experience, you know. But I think the world has, you know, has gone through so much. I mean, you have to know. But now I have a question for you. So I had COVID. He had COVID. Many of us have had COVID. We're experiencing, you know, some, you know, lingering things that are happening, like secondary things that we don't notice that we didn't have before. How does that work if we're looking for life insurance? Is that something that you guys look at as well, or is that not a significant thing?
I haven't seen any applications change that include COVID in there. It's still the standard health questions.
Well, everything's changing with the CDC. First they say one thing, then they say another. And then there's people that say, well, I still don't remember this, or I'm having like foggy brain. I've had that before COVID.
Yeah,
You
yeah. Exactly.
You know, I don't know.
Exactly.
You know, and I'm asthmatic, so that makes it even worse. But, you know, I don't know. I'm just thinking of, you know, just like everything that just, you know, recently happened. Does that affect, you know, somebody who was chronically ill and still, you know, maybe they had diabetes and they're still sick, you know, they're still trying to fight it. But a good friend of mine recently told me, you only get COVID up to this point in the hospital, but what gets triggered is your underlying conditions. You know, they just get triggered, and that's how you die, but you don't necessarily die of COVID.
Right.
So I don't know,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, even on the application, they're not even asking about vaccinations or no vaccinations. I mean, none of that has changed.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if that was
Yeah.
something. If you're not vaccinated, no, you don't qualify. Sorry, you know,
no.
because that's not fair, right?
Yeah, that would be very
Yeah,
annoying.
you could choose whatever
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, unless they make it a law, but
I know, I
hope not.
think health insurance, but I mean, I don't really sell health insurance, I sell life insurance. But on the life insurance side, I don't see it being affected.
Okay. So is there any last words? I mean, I really appreciate you sharing your story. I think it takes a lot of courage, you know, to talk about your personal life, and especially something, you know, like this. I mean, I feel sad, you know, but if you're not sad, I get happy. So I don't know. So, you know, any last words for our audience that are, you know, maybe interested in considering, maybe they lost their policy, you know, can they renew it? You know, I know we're
Yeah.
gonna put your information at the, you know, once this episode airs, but tell us, how do we reach you? Do you have a website? How do we?
Yeah, you can go to either worldsystemchangers.com or wsc.money. I'm always open to giving a free consultation to see if there's a way that I can help you. I would definitely say don't hold off on it, because I know we think that we're going to live forever, but we literally do not know.
Yeah, and it's a
when
good
we're
state of
gonna
mind.
go.
I mean, we're gonna live forever. Yes,
Yeah.
you are, but let's protect ourselves for
Yeah.
sure, and have that peace of mind, that our family members are going to be okay, or our spouse, our kids, and there won't be any fights.
Absolutely.
So with that, again, thank you so much for
Thank you.
for being here. I can't wait to meet your little girls. I've only seen pictures. You haven't posted
Yes.
very many
Oh, yeah.
lately.
I know.
But thank you for that. Thank you for allowing me to invade your privacy.
Oh.
Invade your privacy. So everybody, thank you so much again for tuning in. Thank you for all of your support, for Let's Connect Now. It's something that it's really has grown in my heart, and I'm so grateful for all of you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. We look forward to, having a show every week. Hopefully, our producer won't get too tired, because it is time consuming. But we love having sharing real stories with you guys, and offering something at the end of every segment. So with that, I'm going to say thank you. I look forward to seeing you guys. And by the way, she is going to be a member of the Greater West Covina. So if you guys need to find her, please call me, and I'll share information about her as well. And we'll take it from there. So for now, good night. Thank you, and thank you again for
Thank
being
you so
here.
much for
Really
having me.
appreciate
I
it. Thank you.